look, I know that you inherited a mess, and you said that the other night.
I've only been here,
but are you expecting a recession this year?
I hate to predict things like that.
That was Donald Trump being asked in an interview yesterday if he expects a recession, and the markets did not like his comments whatsoever. In fact, we saw the biggest red weekly candle ever in Bitcoin's history. We scroll here in US dollar terms, Bitcoin shed more value in 7 days than at any time in history. And so, folks, we're talking about a significant drawdown. Now, when we look at the weekly candles, you can see Bitcoin has fallen off a cliff, and it has fallen over the last 2 months 26%. And when you look at the price range for just that 1 week, you can see Bitcoin shed $15,000. So this is the bloodiest week in Bitcoin's history. And now everybody's asking, is the bull market over? Why is Bitcoin crashing when we're seeing all this positive news regarding Bitcoin reserves and Donald Trump's a Bitcoin president? So why are the markets crashing? Well, we got two main reasons. Now, number one is going to be Trump's acknowledgement of the short-term pain for the economy. We just looked at some of his recent statements. The markets wanted more bullishness when it came to Donald Trump. The second reason we're seeing a lot of crashing right now is the investors in Wall Street are de-risking from crypto funds. This is just another way of saying Wall Street is selling, and crypto ETPs see the fourth straight week of outflows, and this was after a record weekly outflow last week, $2.9 billion, and last week we sold $876 million, and so Wall Street is throwing their Bitcoin off the Titanic like it's a gold bar. Now we have a chart down below. This is showing the actual flows, and the number on the bottom is what week number we're in each year. So we ended the year really flat. We started January with some pretty decent inflows, and now you can see just week after week of Wall Street dumping their Bitcoin. The easiest way for you to get wrecked in crypto is to lose all your funds. Whether it's an exchange going down, an exploit, or just a hack, make sure you protect your crypto with Arculus Cold Storage. We love it here at the channel, and if you use code DC20, you can save yourself 20%. Protect yourself out there, because just last year alone, hackers stole almost $2 billion from users out there. Do not let it be you. Protect your funds, and not only can you protect, you can buy, swap, send, and receive crypto with a single tap and hold. Go get yourself an Arculus now. Now, folks, I have some indications on what I think is going to be happening next, and for that, we need to go to the charts. Now we're looking at Bitcoin 2-hour candles. There's something I saw that is similar to what we experienced in December. This is right around Christmas time. Very low liquidity, very bearish sentiment, but we're seeing things in the relative strength index on the bottom that was kind of mimicking what we see going on with the price today, as well as the price back then. So let's go ahead and break that down. Now, first thing we saw was a little bit of an uptrend that was broken to the downside, and where we found, another bottom very close to where we wicked down below. This was the end of February wick right here. But if we look at the relative strength index, you can see slightly more strength in the RSI. This is what they call a hidden divergence. Now, if we look right here, similar structure. We see an uptrend here broken to the downside, and we see an uptrend here broken to the downside, and then we have our bullish divergence. You can see on the RSI, higher lows, on the price, lower lows. But what I found really similar was the amount of time that passed between these two dips. If we look right here, that was 10 days. And if we go to the most recent two crashes, the difference here, 10 days. Now, what's interesting is this is an odd number on the 2-hour candle, so shout out to daylight savings time. Smash that like button if you hate daylight savings time. Now, the next move for Bitcoin, after it had its little bit of bullish divergence, Bitcoin would then go on to pump about 12%, set in a lower low, and then pump about 20%. Now, a couple interesting things here with 12% and 20%. If we rise 12%, that's going to be right to this little level of support that we hit and the $89,000 range, right under $90,000. And so, a very, very important level when it comes to just psychological levels. But then if we pump 20% from our level, well, what do you know? That is actually right here testing this previous high and testing the support levels right around here. So keep an eye out on 95K, keep an eye out on 89. Now, as we're filming, Bitcoin is crashing. We've set in a new lower low, and we're testing this range right here, testing the previous low that would set in. And so I'm seeing a little bit of strength because we tested this range February 28th. In fact, I'm so bullish on these levels, I'm gonna open up a little trade. This is LBank. We're gonna have a link down below, and I'm just gonna throw a couple $100 at this, betting on Bitcoin bouncing from here. We're just gonna go ahead and open a little 11x long. I meant to do 10x. I meant to do 10 10x. I'll be 10% extra degenerate though. So as you can see right now, Bitcoin very, very volatile. I will close this trade out if we end up dropping below this range right here. So we wicked all the way down to 78,240. If we lose this support, if we lose this range, might fall down to some other levels. And when we go to the daily chart, you can see we really don't have any other levels except for where we kind of hit our previous all-time highs. This right here, around 74K. And you can see a little trend line form right there. As we started our little rally to the upside, we had a little fake out, hit the previous all-time high, dipped down below, and then boom, Bitcoin was off to the races with new all-time highs almost every other day. And so there is a little bit of movement to the downside, a little bit of fear. We could drop down another 6-7%. So keep an eye out on these levels, keep an eye out on this range. That's why I'm using a slightly lower leverage trade here. I don't want to get stopped out. Right now you can see, all right, we're in profit town. So that's all I got for you, folks. Do not get shaken out of your Bitcoin bags. There are some levels to the downside. If it keeps falling, I'm going to keep buying. That's less than a 10% dip from here. That'll feel like a dip from ants once we're looking at $1 million Bitcoin in the 2030s or maybe even this decade, folks. So let me know what you're doing with your Bitcoin bags down below. I'm DZ for Discover Crypto, and I'll see you and your Bitcoin at the top.